Stone Age takes you back in time to when agriculture was just beginning to take root and useful resources were being mined and logged. Civilizations were about to advance, but hunting and gathering were still necessary to feed a growing tribes. Are you up for this challenge? The goal of the game is to help a civilization blossom by increasing the amount of people in your tribe, collecting resources, and building homes. To start setting up, lay the board in the middle of the table, sort the food tiles by type, then place them on the hunting grounds. Place all resources on the corresponding areas on the game board. Wood can be found in the forest, clay in the pit, stone in the quarry, and gold in the river. Separate the tools by value and place them into the toolmaker's hut. Shuffle the civilization cards and place them in a deck face down next to the board. Then draw the top 4 and place them face up on the corresponding spaces. The building tiles need to be shuffled too, sorted into piles of 7. Then for each player, 1 pile needs to be placed on its corresponding space, only turning the top tiles up. Each player takes a player board and places 12 food and 5 figures in their chosen color on it. Then places 1 figure on the 0 space of the scoring track and 1 figure on the 0 space of the agriculture track. To finish setting up all other figures, the dice and the dice cup need to be somewhere near the game board. Stone Age has 3 phases in each round. In the first phase, the players place their figures on the board. In the second one, they take actions and get their figures back. And last, they need to feed their tribe. At the beginning of the game, the youngest player takes the first player marker and places 1 or more figures on the circles of a single location on the board. The circles show you the limit of figures placed on each location, except the hunting grounds, where any number of figures can be placed. Watch out! Once you've placed figures on a location, in that round, you are not allowed to place more even if there are leftover spaces. All players follow the starting player in clockwise order, and you all take turns placing figures on the board or on the different cards and buildings until you all run out of them. Once every player has placed all of their figures on the board, you step into the second phase. You all take the actions on all the locations you used and take your figures back in clockwise order, starting with the starting player. If you have a figure on the toolmaker's hut, you are allowed to take 1 tool. If you carve a tool, place it on your board. You can use it later to improve your gathering of resources. If you have placed exactly 2 figures on the family hut, your tribe increases its size by 1. Take a new figure from the general supply. A figure on the fields increases agriculture. A blossoming agriculture will help you feeding your tribe with regular income at the end of the round. There are 4 different resource locations. In the forest, you can produce wood. In the clay pit, clay. In the quarry, stone. And at the river, gold. If you have figures on any of these locations, you need to roll 1 die for each figure placed on a certain location. The total needs to be added up and divided by the price of the resource. Remember that you can choose to use tools if you have any. After rounding down, you take the resource and can keep it on your board. With the help of the hunting grounds, you can gather food similarly to resources. If you have secured a civilization card by placing a figure on it in phase 1, the cost of the card is shown above, and once the card is paid for with the combination of resources chosen by you, you earn the immediate reward of the card. However, the lower section will bring you points at the end of the game, for example for your buildings, your tools, or for the people in your tribe. You can buy buildings by securing them with the figure and paying their cost. The points earned by a building should be shown on the scoring track immediately. Once there are no more figures left on the board, it is time for phase 3. You receive 1 food for each step on the agriculture track. Now you all need to feed your tribes by returning as many food tokens as many figures you use in the game. After feeding your tribes, the starting player marker is being passed on, then you continue the game with a new round. The game ends either when you run out of civilization cards or when 1 whole stack of buildings is emptied. Now check the bottom of your civilization cards because they all bring you extra points. As well as resources, they each equal 1 point. Congratulations! Whoever collected the most points is the winner.